O kia ora e hoa, haere mai, come and join me. Hey, remember a couple of weeks ago we had a very cool story called Kiki the Kiwi and Friends, The Travelling Trash? Well, I've got another book that helps remind us why we need to reduce, reuse and recycle. This is called Celia Seagull and the Plastic Sea. It's by Nicole Miller, it's illustrated by Lily Uivel, and it has a special piece of writing here by Jane Goodall of the Jane Goodall Foundation. She says, it's a delightful story that speaks to the harm that is caused by the plastic waste that ends up in the sea. It's a beautiful book. Would you like me to read it now? Okay, you get nice and comfy, and we can begin. Celia Seagull perched on the cliff, eyeing up plastic and watching it drift. Scanning for pieces to weave through her nest, she held her beak high and puffed out her chest. Here's Celia here. The white waves crashed and the plastic surged. A pink thing surfaced and then submerged. A drinking straw in the undertow, perfect for building her bird bungalow. Down swooped the seagull, down to the foam, keeping her eyes on the straw for her home. But just as she gathered the straw in her beak, she noticed a sea creature, tired and weak. Celia Seagull, I'm glad you're about. There's a straw in my jaw and I can't get it out. Silly old turtle, Celia thought. He must be one of the balmy sort. To gnaw on a straw? That's really naive. I'll say that I'm busy, and then I can leave. I've actually got quite a lot on my plate. I've no time to help, and I cannot be late. She flew to her nest like a high-speed glider, added the straw, and the nest got wider. What a great nest, she squawked to the sea. A comfortable home, and it's all for me. The white waves crashed, and the plastic surged. A blue thing surfaced, then submerged. A plastic bag in the undertow, perfect for building her bird bungalow. Down swooped the seagull, down to the foam, keeping her eyes on the bag for her home. But just as she gathered the bag in her beak, she noticed a sea creature, breathless and weak. Can you see who it is? Celia Seagull, I'm glad you're here. There's a tote round my throat, and my lungs need air. Silly old seal, Celia thought. She must be one of the crazy sort. To play with a bag? That's really naive. I'll say that I'm busy, and then I can leave. I've actually got quite a lot on my plate. I've no time to help, and I cannot be late. She soared to her nest like a swift ballerina, added the bag, and the nest got deeper. It's a generous nest for a bird so small, but I like being solo. I don't mind at all. The white waves crashed and the plastic surged. A green thing surfaced, then submerged. Some plastic string in the undertow, perfect for building her bird bungalow. Down swooped the seagull, down to the foam, keeping her eyes on the string for her home. But just as she gathered the string in her beak, she noticed a sea creature, gloomy and weak. Celia Seagull, I'm glad you've arrived. There's a string on my wing and I'm trying to dive. Silly old penguin, Celia thought. He must be one of the dotty sort. To swim around string, that's really naive. I'll say that I'm busy and then I can leave. I've actually got quite a lot on my plate. I've no time to help and I cannot be late. What foolish sea creatures, she thought with a flap, to get tangled up in the plastic scrap. Lucky I'm clever. Lucky I'm bright. Then she hopped in her nest and prepared for the night. The moon appeared as the sun took rest. Celia looked very small in her nest. All of a sudden she felt quite alone. Her head felt dizzy and her gut made a groan. "I'm hungry," she whispered. "I'm starving, I'm famished." And into the night sky Celia vanished. Sailing up high and plunging down low, keen for a fish to devour on the go. Then Celia spied something silvery white. "Here, little fishy, I swear I won't bite." Quick as an arrow she ducked in the sea, gulping that white thing whole for her tea. Uh-oh. Can you see what it is? She instantly noticed a spasm of shock. It felt like her windpipe was having a block. What had she eaten? It wasn't a fish. It was hard and sharp and plastic-ish. "I think I ate plastic," Celia yelped. "Help me, somebody. Somebody, please help." Well, who should turn up to provide first aid? A gracefully styled, outrageous mermaid with rose-tinted specs and a daisy chain veil, paisley bikini and rainbowy tail. The hippiest hipster, the grooviest groover, she promptly began the Heimlich manoeuvre. Celia coughed like a nauseous baboon, and up came a bile-covered throwaway spoon. "Thank you, my friend, for dislodging that thing," said Celia, offering a grateful wing. "But help is still needed down here, I'm afraid. There's 3 other creatures who need to be saved." Luckily for those creatures, Celia remembered them. First they found Turtle with a straw in his jaw. Celia pulled it out using her claw. Next they found Seal with a tote round her throat. They wiggled her out with a prod and a poke. Last they found Penguin with string on his wing. They untied the rope and then made him a sling. "Come back to my hideaway," Celia said. The creatures agreed and away they fled. They snuggled up close in the generous nest, all winding down for a good night's rest. The mermaid yawned and the turtle coughed. The seal snored and the penguin blew off. Celia smiled as she fluffed her tail feathers. "I hope we will have many more get-togethers." She stretched out her wings to keep everyone covered, content as she thought about what she'd discovered. We should always help when a friend is distressed, and make room for loved ones to rest in our nest. But throwaway plastic should not fill our space. We have just one Earth, and Earth has just one face. Can you see the reflection in Celia's eye? Can you see New Zealand? And at the back of the book here, there's some information about the special foundation that helped Nicole write the book, about Plastic Free July, and about Jane Goodall's foundation. Did you enjoy that story? There's lots of simple things that we can do to help, isn't there? Reducing, reusing, and recycling, and by trying to ensure that none of our plastic waste ever reaches the sea. If you'd like to find out more about Nicole and Lily, you can visit CeliaSeagull.com. And on her website you might find the song that she wrote a couple of years ago called Plastic Free Christmas. That's another really good thing too. Well, thanks for joining me today, my friend. I love it when you come to visit. Will you come and visit me again soon? I'll find us another really good story. Ka kite. Goodbye, my friend.